Hello, Smite fans, and welcome on into the grand finals of our 3v3 Joust League here at the Divine Combat League. It has been exciting so far. We have followed Pushka buttons from their start all the way through 2-0s back to back, yet now they face off against their mortal enemies, the Empanadas. Sovaliss, what's some beef I hear that they got in store over with these two teams?
Yes. I believe it is Legacy and Empen have known each other for quite some time. They're often seen hitting the cues together, but now on this divine battlefield, facing off against each other, facing off against one of each other, and I guess we're gonna see which of these two buddies is gonna come out on top. One's gonna walk away with 1,000, the other 500. There's only one way you can find out.
That's right, only one way to find out, to jump on into picks and bans. And I mean, you know each other for so long, you know what each other plays, you can knock some stuff out. But I think you said it very clearly, and something that I want to just emphasize: who's going to walk away with 1,000 diamonds in pocket? 1,000 diamonds each player. I mean, that sounds pretty good, you know, playing the game. And I like emphasizing that because, you know, we talk about, you know, skins, and you get these new skins that you love. And, you know, the big saying, skins is wins at the end of the day. So if you want to get those diamonds to buy those skins and play the Smite game, ladies and gentlemen, sign up over in the Discord. Our next tournament information is going to be coming at you very soon. Stay up to date. Pay attention to the announcements channel. But here we are in game one of our grand finals, and I mean, I'm seeing a lot of what we're used to seeing so far today. We'll get rid of the Afro, the Achilles, the Bari. The Thor is something that sprouted up a little bit recently, but that Hercules does make its way through and gets itself locked in.
And I want to point out that is taking away the Hercules from Legacy, as that is going to Team 2 as opposed to Pushka.
So it's a
buttons.
pseudo ban.
It's a pseudo ban. Odin picked up directly to try to counter the healing, lock him down in that cage. Tried and true Kabrakan picked him up, I think, every single game, but why fix what ain't broke?
I've heard a lot about like the Hercules pick, I gotta be honest, and I've had some people who were like really just banking on this pick and telling me how great it was and how awesome it was. And I'm not talking about from what we've been watching today. From what I've been seeing today, it's looked better than what I've seen in person, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the Hercules that everybody was talking up to me was like, oh, he hits like a wet noodle and then just kind of dies. And I was like, I didn't feel it, but like today, I gotta be honest, I'm loving the picks. I think it's the way that the Hercules is played that we've been seeing the confidence from Legacy to be able to walk up and go for these prime picks, lock down members, get them out of position, and just get the cleanups, get the kills for their team. I think that's what's really important. Let's head on into game number one, ladies and gentlemen, to find out the action, to find out who's going to be walking away with your 1,000 diamonds. Jumping into the action, we do have a new god of the day, Vulcan, getting picked on up by Pushka. I'm a little bit surprised to see this one when, I mean, the Agni was available. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, this definitely caught me off guard. The Agni has been working out so well. And, I mean, honestly, I don't hate the Vulcan. I don't. The turrets, obviously, all three of them. If that's the route he's going, definitely strong. The movement speed is going to be able to keep a safe distance, hopefully, from that Hecate. And I mean, the ultimate, right?
Big circles.
It's good. Yeah, exactly. It wins games. Getting that with a Kabrakan wall, it's going to be huge. It also gives them a bit more pressure here on this red buff fight, as opposed to Agni. And, well, I mean, nothing like a good snowball if they can get it going.
Oh, red buff gets dropped, does get picked up by the Empanadas. You see that one right around the waist of Psycho Medic on the Hercules. So feeling pretty good about there. Looking for the pickup. Now, something we got to talk about with the pseudo ban, okay? You're going to pick up this Hercules to take it away from your opposition. The problem I see with something like that is, are we taking this away because we're comfortable with it? Or are we taking it away simply to ban it? That's what we're going to be finding out if Psychomedic can land these picks. Goes to zone out. The Vulcan, it does some good damage, but the Odin on the back line is actually seeing a little bit of a rough spot right now. Phantom Shell does get expended. I don't think it connected onto the Odin. Used his own shield, goes, leaps away, and does get out to safety, but knock up! Pushed back in, the good double onto the Vulcan, and the Odin has his shield in pocket. Low HP as they're dragging this one on, but everybody's staying alive. 1 HP, they end up getting on out of their super low, and they end up giving the purple buff at the end of the day.
I mean, I think we just answered our question of can we play that Herc, or are we just picking him away? That was smooth. That was smooth as butter. Beautiful double knock up, double driving strike from Psycho there. He stepped up and said, no, Legacy. Let me show you how it's done.
Let me show you how it's done. It's that toxic too. It's like I anything you can do, I can do better. That's one of my my favorites, especially.
He's coming with something to prove. I mean, the Hakate is also not lost on me. Might be picking up a little bit of what we saw in round 1, game 2. Obviously, the Hakate ultimate winning fight. Although, no, it is indeed Aspect Hakate once again.
I think it's just better. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, the Vulcan's gonna hate it.
Right? He places down turret, gets hit, or just gets walled off, zoned off, pushed on out, frozen through the wall. Unfortunately, not able to finish that one off, but some good damage onto the Vulcan. Doesn't expend the relic. Talk about a poker face from Bushka.
Yeah, straight up said, I know you guys aren't gonna kill me. This is just a little bit of poke. It's not too serious. Being able to hold on to the beads there is absolutely massive. Panicking, losing the... It is. Absolutely. It means he's no longer... Well, I mean, he's still the target, but it's no longer a death sentence to be picked up by the Hercules.
To me, it's
right?
the timing.
He's got the safety.
Because these players are just now ticking over to level 5. Now imagine if you have a Vulcan just sitting in this tower and a giant Hecate ult just rips on through. What do? You're done. You're getting pulled in. There's no helping you. Pulled in into a freeze, driving strike, whatever it may be. I think Pushka just played that one super well, super confidently. Players now ticking over to level 5 though. Looking to get a little bit spicy.
Spicy indeed. Out comes the Odin cage with Kabrakan. No dice has Phantom Shell's pot. Yeah.
Like their timers are synced. They sync their watches right there. A little bit of a communication error ends up getting these players on out of their Odin jumping on over the top, but nothing really amounts to it other than a red buff take.
I mean, if I was oh no. Oh no, Kabrakan, no. There goes Vessel.
No, Kabrakan, no. There is that Hercules in action. Pluck into the tower, and down he goes. And I really like from Hane there to charge the Ymir ult outside. It's like, okay, he's got only one direction to go, so I'm just going to charge my ult here. He walks into it, he gets slowed. Granted, he's Kabrakan, he can push his one and go zoom, but you know, you're going to get the explosive damage nonetheless, and then the follow-up from Psychomedic as well. That's going to be first blood in the pocket for the Empanadas.
Indeed. I was about to say, you know, if I'm Legacy, I'm happy. They ain't got no shell. This is the perfect time to set up a massive Vulcan ult, but time is ticking. Losing Abyssal means their window of opportunity is gonna be low. About 40 seconds left before those shells are back. I don't know. Empanadas are gonna have to play this carefully.
Play it very carefully. I mean, it's prime. Here's the thing, though. When you see all 3 shells get expended at the same time, do you know whose shell actually went off? Unless you, like, physically see the words on the people saying that they used it. I think that's just one of those, like, moments where it's like, unless they really were paying attention to see that all 3 shells were going off, in the back of their heads, they're like, okay, they have 3 shells, so somebody has shells still, right? At least one person, maybe 2 people.
You would hope so, at the very least. Out comes the Odin ult, in comes the Vulcan ult. Not quite able to make a landing. Hercules, barely any health. Phantom shells are back up and going out. 2 shells used once again.
Okay, Let's gotta start writing this one down, okay? Every time we'll start keeping a tally. How many? Since they have 3 shells. All right, chat. You know what? It's your turn right now. Give me a final number by the end of this game. How many times will multiple shells get used at once? Let me know right now. Plus or minus 10. What are you thinking?
Yeah, sync timers once again. Oh man, communication. Oh, going to contact out. Vulcan is stuck, unfortunately, going to perish. Pushka is down 2-0 now. Running it down. Good Ymir wall. Odin, there's just nowhere for you to run. Get the stun, but how are you going to get out?
Like that.
The answer is yes.
just like that. Abyssal, unfortunately, is going to fall for that one. I feel like I've seen this one before, where Abyssal's kind of like lurking around trying to peel for his team and ends up falling in response to that.
Yep, a little bit too I guess what's the word? He's too reactive.
Okay, I can see that.
He's waiting, he's biding his time, and he misses the opportunity, or goes in just too late, only to perish, like we just saw.
Too late, only to
Either
perish.
get out or get in.
Get
Decide.
out. Oh yeah. Get out or get in. Unfortunately, Red Buff going down, going the way of the Empanadas. They're doing good to hold out this farm. I mean, they've built themselves a nice 1k gold lead so far. Only 7.5 minutes in, and nice and steady. You were seeing levels kind of dipping in their way. I mean, you got a Hikata who's 2-0-1. She's ticking over to level 9. Hercules just ticked over to level 9 as well. Psychomedic. These are things that you need to be worrying about, because these levels are going to start adding up. They're going to start dealing damage. The cage is there. The Vulcan ult rains in over the top. Empen is low. Empen is gone and is able to get on out of there. Did not expend the ultimate, but hey, I see a double shell that ended up getting used once more. That's number 3, and Psychomedic ends up getting a pickup right there. The gates were open. Empen shows back up, and the boulder from over the top. The boulder knows where the Cabrakan is. The boulder will send Cabrakan back to the fountain.
Perfect place. I mean, right now, Empen is just. I mean, how else do I put this? They're playing as a team, and they are doing it perfectly. You have amazing pulls coming from Psycho. You've got beautiful walls on Honey, and Empen is just sitting there waiting for his time. He's like, I know, there's my damage. We're just gonna kill him. And there has not been much that Pushka Buttons has been able to do about it, but now, good engage coming from around the corner onto Cabrakan, but he's getting pushed back in. Odin and Vulcan slightly behind, trying to catch back up to get the damage in. And Cabrakan is just going to go further in the back. Rest of Empanada's team is here. Purple buffs going to Pushka Buttons, but not much else for their effort.
I think that was really good ambush attempt from Pushka Buttons, and it showed that they're trying to make these plays together. The one thing that stands out to me, though, is the lack of damage, okay? You have a lot of CC on this team comp. You got a knock up from the Vulcan. You've got, you know, obviously the multiple forms from Cabrakan alongside the cage. You also have the cage from Odin. You got the stun from Odin. You know, so you have all these things in your pocket, but the problem is the damage was not there. You have this Odin Cabrakan moving forward. The Vulcan wasn't able to keep up, and we saw, I mean, exactly what happened right in front of us. Hercules was able to just kind of dash away and get some spacing. So when does this damage come online? We did just see the Soldier get locked in by Pushka, so maybe hopefully we'll start to see some of those numbers go their way.
It honestly should be around now, because Vulcan should have his second mod, and depending on the one he's going, it will give him the additional power scaling on his 1 and his 3 there. But he still needs power to scale off of.
Gates got opened up. Force the beads off of the Vulcan. Keep that in mind if you have any form of CC, is what that one's saying. Fight over at the red buff pit, though, is going to force the cage. I see only 1 shell get used that time, so we're still stuck at a 3 as long as I mean, the other two don't end up falling in. The knockup from the Herc falls onto the Kraken. 1 HP. His shell gets expended. The boulder over the top does not connect this time onto him. He gets himself on out to safety. Extremely low.
Good fight all around. Red buff going to Empen. Yes, no kill, but overall still away. I mean, maybe I spoke too soon. Nope, not quite. Odin is able to get out with just a sliver of health left. Empen doing a great job controlling the pace of this game. Fortunately, no purple buff for you guys. But now I'm wondering is how long until they pull Lost Night? They have a great advantage. They can easily bait and force Pushka Buttons into a fight on the objective. And if things go their way, that's their tower.
The thing right there, you said they needed to bait it. It needed to... You can't really secure that objective. I mean, you have some good damage with Empen on this account. Your secure is probably going to be a Ymir ultimate or like a Hercules driving strike plus all like, you know, you really I feel like you got to commit so many other things in order to make it happen. The shred is the big problem that's not going to be there. How long is it going to take you to burst this thing down? If you bait in the enemy team, I like that a lot better, as you mentioned. Now we're going to go in, we're going to play this fight on our terms, because take a look at what's going on right now. Pushka Buttons is happy to just chill around. Let's get a little bit later. We were talking about their lack of damage. Well, if we get items online, that ain't going to be too much of an issue. But the pull in from the gates, Hecate ends up calling down onto the Kraken and says, get on over here. Life Binder as well on top of him. Pluck onto him. The shell is there, and there he goes once more. Get on out of here with this insane survivability from Abyssal once again.
He cannot keep getting away with this. Odin alt Phantom Shell pop. They want the tower. They want the kill. Odin is going to fall. Pushka in the back of the tower now. Kraken coming to help out. Good stun. Vulcan alt is going out. Unfortunately, does not quite connect. Put down a little too far. Ymir is low. Kate is at half, but Hercules has made his way back around. Looks like there's no more fight to be found.
No more fight to be found. They're going to kind of happily walk away from that one. You got to pick up
Oh.
there, the Odin off the table. They're looking towards the purple buff. I'm going to get some more farm in pocket. Come on. These players...
There it is.
Don't... No, red buff.
Oh, come on.
You got baited.
Even the mystical male pulled it. Like,
You got baited right there. You got baited so bad. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going fishing, and I'm going to put you on the line. Like, I'm going to catch me something good.
Hey, you know what? I love seeing the teleporter used just across the map, get the red buff, secure it with the quickness. And people gotta remember it's there. Good way to traverse. Simple, short, and instant.
You know,
Good
I
wall.
was going to bring up a story way back in like our very first round of this entire tournament. I remember now where when this map first released, a friend and I ended up going in and doing some 1v1s and messing around and just trying out the map as well. And we played this game. You could run the Benny Hill music of us just going through one portal, run across through the other one, just like going around back and forth and just chasing each other, trying to kill one another. I love using those portals and just like, or just faking it out. Like, I'm going to go this way and then I'm going to go to the other side and just teleport, or I'm just going to sit behind it. It was so many shenanigans going on.
Yep, I remember one game I used that portal. I straight up hid behind it. And they walked right past me as I wasn't using the portal. I was backing.
Look at that right there. So, a collapse onto Empen on this account. He used his ultimate to send the two people on top of him away from him, sat and waited for them to come a little bit closer, and then took the portal through to get himself on out of there. Great play right there. Beads expended off of the freeze onto the Vulcan. Drops down the turret, but is he going to survive much longer? Down he goes. Honey explodes with the ice shards on top of him. Now trapped on in, though, is this Ymir. The Phantom Shell is there, and I spot another double, ladies and gentlemen. Add number 4 onto your columns. Tower eating a little bit of damage from the minions. Fight continuing over by the blue buff, but the tower survives.
Tower's all that matters, although the gold lead, the XP lead, empanadas are starting to get a little bit too far ahead. It is going to be an uphill battle for Pushka Buttons. Not that we haven't seen them come back from worse positions, even just tonight, but it's certainly not ideal. I'm sure that Pushka Buttons feels much more comfortable when they are holding the lead, as opposed to clawing it back.
I'd like us to stop going on this Bracken. I'm just gonna put this one out there right now. This is the third time I have watched this sucker right here get out. Clap for us, thank you, applaud. I am applauding you right now for making it out like that. 3 times now, this game alone, Abyssal has walked out 1 HP, okay? We gotta stop going on him. We're dumping so much into him. We're dumping the Hercules ultimate, we're dumping the Hekata ultimate. It feels like we're just dropping everything we can. I mean, we got Vulcan beats for crying out loud in the previous engagement. I don't know why we're not using the Hekata. Okay, rant over, enough said. Odin just died, ladies and gentlemen, and so did the tower for the Pushka Buttons, okay? The Empanadas are pushing forward. Abyssal's finally put down like a good dog, and now they're going into the tower.
I know what you said the other game about Odin. You know, you think he's one of the stronger picks in these Joust games, but
No, I think he's one of the better picks in Smite right now.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've seen him 2 times tonight, and
just keep going, just keep going. Yeah, I mean, we all saw it.
we've seen him 2 times tonight, and underwhelming is the word I'm going to use.
That's fair.
You know, obviously last round we saw the Odin just be a non-factor 4 levels down. Currently, we're seeing not quite as much, but there is still a deficit. 0, 3, and 0 has not been able to do much. Has been more or less putting down his ult, getting turned on, and that's that.
I feel like we kind of talked a little bit earlier about where's the damage from Pushka Buttons. You know, they have the lockdown, they have the CC, they have this potential. It's just, can this Vulcan get close enough? And to me right now, the answer is no. I don't feel like this Vulcan is providing enough, and I don't think that's any fault to Pushka. I feel like the zone coming in from Empanadas, you know, he's got this Hercules Ymir just kind of running at him, forcing his relic. You got Empen just yeeting the ultimate as far as he can. The ultimate covers the entire lane we talked about way back when we first saw the Hekata. On top of that too, you know, it's just got such a massive range that you can throw it halfway down lane and catch the guy standing anywhere within his tower line. Now, Lost Knight getting picked on up, the 3 members of Pushka Buttons walking on over. They do have the Vulcan ultimate available, but is it going to be enough? Getting down to about half HP. Pushka keeping an eye out. Legacy and Abyssal rotating around behind. Pushka now trapped on in, sends the ultimate. Unfortunately, it's onto the tanks of Empanada's fight. Now continuing.
But Empen is going to fall. The ult not quite enough to get him out this time. Now, Pushka Buttons finally on the board. Lost Knight didn't get finished. It got dropped. Pushka, unfortunately, tanks are going to run him down. 2v2 tank v tank. Who's got it? Bracken looks like he's going to fall. Good double stun. The Hercules sustained the Ymir consistent damage. It's just too much. 1v2 gets the stun on the Hercules. Bird bomb, not enough damage. You gotta run. You're not winning this fight. You gotta run.
Play and insert Betty Hill music here. No, I'm just get stunned. Get sent on out of here. Dig aside for the Empanadas. And Empen did finally go down. So a pick in the pocket of Pushka Buttons. They were able to get their first one on the board. And a good shutdown nonetheless onto the Hekata. But here's the issue is, you know, what are you able to gain off of that right now? I mean, Empanadas were able to find that. But now you got Pushka back up. You have Abyssal back up. 20 seconds until Legacy. And I feel like they're happy just kind of with the W, going to clean up some farm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was probably the best fight we've seen from Pushka Buttons so far this game. They were able to find their target, pick him off. The downside was it took both of their tanks to finish off Empen, which left both of Empanada's tanks to finish off Pushka. came a trade, and one that did not end in their favor. Now, if we fast forward potentially, another 3 minutes into the game, and Pushka's hitting a little harder, that ultimate that hit both the tanks off the start probably does a little bit more in chunks, and the fight could have been turned differently. Or if that ult had just landed on Empen himself, it would have been a little bit better. But right now, they just don't have the ability to burn the tanks like we've seen in the last 2 rounds.
Do you have 3 more minutes? As mentioned, this account is about to tick over to level 20, ladies and gentlemen. Ultimates being expended. The jump out from the Odin does force a little beads, and it looks like the Vulcan gets out absolutely 1 HP. 3 members of the Empanadas, rather healthy, walking on forward. No ultimates available. Are they going to be able to get some damage off? The freeze into the pluck, into the push, the Kabrakan eating some good chunky damage. The Odin still lurking around nearby. Phoenix getting eyeballed, but they need to find a pick here. There's a Phantom Shell expended by the Empanadas. All 3 still available. I'm sorry, a Phantom Shell by the Pushka Buttons. Phantom's all still available for the Empanadas. The Phoenix is low. The Phoenix is gone.
No picks found, though, so all 3 still alive to keep him off Titan. But it's still not going to be an easy fight. I mean, if you overextend here, you want to get the kills. They're low, but this could easily turn into a bad fight. So Odin is about to get picked. Good wall from the Ymir. Hercules is running him down. Out comes the Shell. In the backline now, open the gate, sends the Kabrakan away. Pushka falling to the Hercules. This is now looking like it could be the end for Pushka Buttons, as Kabrakan is soon to fall over the...
You saw that.
There it is. There it is. You were wanting it with the Kabrakan up, but we got it with the Ymir wall. Absolutely beautiful bounce back to finish him off. Odin trying to buy as much time as he can, but 30 seconds still on Pushka before he's up. Are they going to be able to defend Titan here? Are they going to push in? Legacy's getting out 18 seconds for reinforcements. The Titan is losing his HP fast. I think this is it.
I think this is it indeed. The Fire Wave is in there. Lightbinder onto the Odin. He's sending what he can. The Titan goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, your kings can be put down. Pushka Buttons have fallen. Empanadas are leading the series now 1-0.
That was the first game that Pushka Buttons have lost tonight. They've had a lot of close calls, but that's the first team that was able to take a game off them. You know that hurts. You know they've got to be feeling a little rough right now. They went for something a little differently. They had their Hercules stolen. They tried the Vulcan out, and it just wasn't there. It did not quite pan out.
You said right there, they tried something a little bit differently. Okay, yeah, the Hercules getting taken away, it's one thing. But to me, it's like, I felt like this Vulcan was a piece of the puzzle I didn't really feel like went to this puzzle, okay? And it's when you're sitting there, you're bothering with it, you're turning it left and right, you realize that you're playing with a Duplo block instead of a Lego, and you gotta just, okay, hold on, we gotta get this right back in the right set, all right? I think he was able to get some good damage off. However, I just felt like he wasn't able to follow up, and it just felt like the two sides of the coin were not on the same coin. I'm making all these different references, but all these different bad jokes. We're going to find out if they're going to be able to turn this one around. Game 2 is going to be in just a few minutes. We're going to go to a quick intermission before we come back with the grand finals of the Divine Combat League's 3v3 Joust Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the Divine Combat League's 3v3 Joust Tournament Grand Finals. I'm dropping all the buzzwords because the Empanadas are leading the series 1-0 against Pushka Buttons, who've been undefeated so far, but no longer fighting for those 1,000 diamonds per player. Who is going to come out on top? Will Empanadas take this in 2? Or are Pushka Buttons about to bring this one on back? You still got myself, ZekVexol, here breaking it down with Solve Anything that you think going into game 2 from that game 1 that is a good takeaway for the Pushka Buttons.
I think the Pushka Buttons got to go back into that kitchen. They got to get cooking. They tried something new. They said, "Hold on, let me cook. I got Vulcan. I got an Odin." And unfortunately, they might have burnt the kitchen down. Unfortunately, it was not quite enough. The game was definitely rough. I think going in, I think the first thing they have to ask is, are we first pick? No, we're banning the Hercules. It's
Well,
it's not something they want to play against.
let's find out if it gets banned away. We're getting ready to jump on into picks and bans here for game number 2. Match point, series point, tournament point. You know, you talked about that Hercules being such a staple pick, but I mean, look at everything else that we've been talking about: the Aphrodite, the Achilles, and the Bari. I mean, like, you know, I feel like there's just so many things. It's like, where do we draw the line? You know, where does this, what do we, it's got to be a give and take. I think that's a good way of putting it.
It is. And I think, I don't know, as much as I hate letting them through, I think you give the Achilles.
Okay.
I do think, I mean, there's ways around him, right? He
True.
does have to get in, he has to get close, and unlike the Hercules, like, you know, he just got stunned. Hercules is displacement, and displacement is such a powerful effect. Being able to forcefully split up the fight or choose where the fight is going to happen, it will swing the entire game. You
Yeah,
know, I
being
don't
able
think you
to,
give the Afro.
okay.
Like, you can't. You can't give
It's
the
just a
Afro.
no. Yeah.
It's just a no. Like, on, what was out of the band? We saw Thor. I don't. I think his Thor's fine to let through.
Yeah, you know, the Thor, I would say it's a good one. So that leaves what? Okay, so we're dropping Bari, Hecate. I'm sorry, Bari, my bad. Scratch the head on. Bari, Achilles, Hercules, and I'm missing one right
Afro.
now. Aphrodite, thank you very much. But if your first pick, I mean, you got to sit there and want to get yourselves one of these picks. And I think we're going to be seeing if they can play for that one. We'll see what the draft plan is. It's now time to jump on in, ladies and gentlemen. Picks and bans. Game number 2 is underway. I'm super excited to see this one because it really feels like this could be the comeback game that Pushka Buttons needs. It was kind of a I'm okay with that last one being the wall for them, if that makes sense. You know, I'm glad they were able to like slam into that wall right there, and now it's like, all right, cool. Let's just discipline a little bit. Let's go over how we can improve, and let's make those necessary adjustments in order to do so. You know, this is the moment you have, albeit it's a very tight moment. You know, it's a best of 3, and this is game number 2 right now, and you're already down 1-0.
Absolutely. This is do or die. And they're saying we don't want to see that Ymir. And you know what? I don't blame them. Those
The
walls
walls,
were
yes.
on point. They were on point. Incredibly annoying to play around. Overall, solid ban.
This
Now, the
also now
question
leaves the
is,
50-50 for the Achilles and Hercules.
there it is. The
You
Hercules
are
ban.
finished.
The Achilles picked up instantly. No hesitation from Pushka Buttons. They knew what they were going for. They said it's Hercules or Achilles. You're giving us one of them. Achilles was the option, but you know what? I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna be interested to see if Bacchus does get played with how many times we have seen him banned
I
in the
don't know if I
early
want it though.
rounds. I'm
Here's
not
what
sure if
I'm
I
looking at.
want it.
It made its way all the way through in the last one. What I'm looking at mostly is if you're in that scenario, and I guess this will be a spitball to anybody
There's
out there
no way
watching.
out.
If you're in the scenario where you're forced to pick, you know, between 2 picks like this, really weigh it down. Like, is it okay if we give them the Achilles and then we take the Hercules, or we give them the Hercules and then we get the Achilles. I mean, you get a 1-for-1 off of it at the end of the day instead of a 1-for-none. I honestly, as much as people have been hyping up the Kabrakan since his releasing and how much he's been putting out, I feel like here on the Joust field, the Achilles has been pivotal and will be pivotal, especially during a tank meta.
I mean, now we're looking at Achilles Mordred, and we have
Oh.
seen that one before.
Wait,
There's-
I got
there's-
so confused for
I was
two-
gonna say, there's what?
They're taking Hercules. No, it's
Surely
Poseidon.
there's.
I like this.
I do like this. And now, if I'm remembering correctly, Aspect Poseidon is not banned,
Correct.
which means you could be, and you know, if my memory serves correctly, Aspect Poseidon is actually what Pushka had before the first game remade.
Oh, it did get banned away from them, so this could be something in the back pocket that they were cooking up at the start. I love the Poseidon pick. I'm going to be honest. Aspect or not, I think Poseidon is a phenomenal pick. And I feel like he's kind of like, people talk about like, oh, Cabra into Pos, but I think there's also a Pos into Poseidon into Kabrakan, where you got the Kraken. Sure, he can cage you, but you got the Kraken. They each have kind of like their own give and take in that. We'll see how it plays on out, ladies and gentlemen. It's match point, serious point, tournament point right now. Game 2 of the grand finals, Empanadas versus Pushka Buttons is underway. Look at
It is a triple aspect. Yep, Aspect Achilles, which is that one confuses me a little bit, because that is typically more of a jungle aspect. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hold up. Some nice, respectful jumps in wave.
Sorry, we don't have that
They
here
met?
in my tournaments.
They
Kill them! Kill them now! Do it!
What are you doing, Pushka? Get him! And straight to the violence. Oh, Pushka already half health, Achilles chunked, but so is Kabrakan.
Honey,
They've
it's some
got
good damage there on the back line.
fast.
Yeah. Red buff getting dropped, wave getting focused by Pushka. This is really good because now this is going to force wave pressure. The Neath no longer able to make their way over towards the red buff, and now it can be the full focus for the Pushka Buttons. Instead, gonna drop it. Wave cotton cleared. The Neath is there and around. It collapse onto the Gabby. Has the shield to get himself on out of danger. But how long? Is that an Aegis on my Geb? The Aegis of acceleration just saved that man. And now the 1 HP Mordred is gonna get out 1 HP. I am baffled right
Aegis?
now.
Aegis on the and the Kabrakan. The only one that doesn't have Aegis is the Neath. You know what? Actually, no. I'm not surprised. Aegis is exactly how you counter the Achilles.
True. But it is very true, and especially on your tanks, huh?
Yeah,
Man.
that is how you are countering the Achilles. And you know what? Early value already from the Aegis, keeping Geb alive, preventing the first blood.
I'm just scratching my head, man. I gotta be honest. I should have looked better. Chat, I'm sorry. Everybody at home, I'm sorry. I should have paid attention to the fact that both tanks had Aegis, and also that the Geb is absolutely low, is going to be able to get out once more. This is something right now. This game right now, it's scrappy, but like nobody's dying. So I don't know how to feel about this.
A lot of people, it's just there's no full commitment right now. Right? We've seen it. We saw a little bit. Aegis, people got out low health, and now they're testing the waters. Was the way I see it, right? They want to see what each other can do, what they are willing to do. You know, how they're going to react. We've got a pluck now on the Mordred, picked out half health and stun. Achilles stun is missing. 5 ticked on the Poseidon. This is a deadly corridor.
Rip the Kraken! Come on! Yeah, hit
It
level
has no
5
Aegis.
before
Rip
them.
it!
Send it! Send it, Pushka! You see it? It's lined up for you. You don't have to hit the Neath. There he goes. There's the Kraken. Unfortunately, you hit the target who can backflip, and now the 2 tanks are happy to run you down. So, man, I'm sitting here, we're just like, come on, send it. The Neath ult ends up going through as well. And look at this, 1 HP, 1 HP. You got, just, man, what's going on right now? Break this down for me, Sob.
Well, I mean, like I said, both teams are trying to figure out exactly what they can get away with right now. How far can they push each other? Because speaking of that, Geb pushed up a little too far. Mordred tick 5, ults instantly. First blood going to the Pushka buttons. And that's a little turnaround from what we saw last game, I think.
It's really, you know, you're sticking around like that, like you said, what you can get away with. Unfortunately, you thought you could get away with a lot more than you really could have. You're still a level 4 Geb who only had a tier 1 of an item. Yeah, I mean, like, come on. You gotta make sure, okay, we had a big fight, a lot went on. It's time to back up. It's time to reset.
Indeed, indeed. These fights are going to be interesting to play out. One thing I want to see is that Mordred comboing, or is that Poseidon comboing off of Mordred.
So, like, the Mordred ults and then the Poseidon follows?
Mordred ult, and the Kraken is coming right underneath your feet as you land.
I just want to see the Kraken get ripped. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm sitting here right now, just send it. I don't need setup. I am my setup. I see a Geb standing right in front of me. Just ticked over to level 5. There goes the Kraken. That's what I'm waiting for. Forces the Aegis. 1 HP. A second
Double
Aegis,
Aegis.
but no follow. There it is. Pushka is able to get the lockdown onto the Geb. The second death for that Geb. The second death for the empanadas. And the second kill for the Poseidon.
Pushka buttons are feeling good with this. They went back to the kitchen. They cooked up. And the Poseidon, that was the key. They've been waiting. They said, hold up, we going all the way. No one needs to know. Not until the finals. This is our ace in the hole. You do. You just gotta send the ult. I mean, you know, he got great value, hit 2, Aegis 1, the other took the full damage from it. And, you know, but the first fight, obviously, he got no value. He waited too long looking for that first one. Mordred in the back, balls to the wall. I mean, come on. Rip it. Oh wait, no, there is no. Mordred is trying to build up that energy though. Can Achilles get out? With a bit of a bead, Mordred picks up the Neath ult. Nice body block, but they are still chasing. Outroll the Geb. Mocks Mordred away though, unfortunately. I believe there was actually a hot fix in the middle of this tournament to fix Geb's rollout. Am I correct on that?
You're very correct on that. And we helped our boy out. I'm sending Kraken right there. Like, actually, I like
his
this
Aegis is down.
Okay, so I gotta talk about this. I gotta be the bearer of news. It's just news. It's not good news. It's not bad news. It's just how to play Poseidon 101. I'm not trying to coach the players, trust me. I just love this god so much. Kraken, there you go. Just send it. I don't need people to be low. It doesn't matter. Execute rips through. Honey goes down. Legacy gets the pickup onto that one. 1 for Pushka, 1 for Legacy. 2 more in the pocket of Pushka buttons. But when I'm playing this Poseidon, I tell you right now, that ultimate, it comes off cooldown. It's going back on cooldown. I'm finding the first person I can, and I am just ripping it on them. Why? Because they just don't know what to do. If they walk out of base and they just eat a Kraken, you know, a Pass ult, a Ra ult, a Thoth ult, these big bursty mages, if it just happens, they don't know what to do. They'll stand there if it doesn't just kill them, and they'll just be puzzled like, well, I'm going back to base now. More farm for you, more fun for you, and it comes back up right away.
That it does. The cooldown, I mean, the cooldown's already half over. Or, yeah, half over. It's about to tick over that. And, I mean, I gotta agree with you on that. I do think you want value. You want it there for the team fights, but you're 7 minutes into the game. Rip it. Get the farm. Another double ult from the Mordred. No Kraken though to follow up. Aegis is gonna get popped. Kraken, Geb trying to go back in. Careful, man. You're playing with 25% of your health bar. Remember, once that Achilles ult is back up, your Aegis is still down.
Aegis still down red buff, getting eyeballed by the Pushka buttons. They are able to secure that one, force the backflip of the Neath. Rollout from the Geb, though, could prove fatal, and that's what we mean. The Kraken rips on through, unfortunately, just off the mark. Gonna get some damage off, but not in the center to get the knockup. They're going to be able to secure the red buff, get a little bit extra farm, and get some extra pressure. Eyeballing this blue buff, though, the Kabrakan getting quite aggressive. Gonna get on top of the Poseidon, eat some damage from the Whirlpool. Lining up the execute, goes for it, but the Aegis is there. Both Aegises down now for the Empanadas.
Ooh, this is where you gotta be careful. Mordred, obviously, still is gonna have ultimate benefits of no cooldown. He just needs the energy. And, I mean, the way that they've been fighting, he's going to have that back up. Kraken still off cooldown still on cooldown, my bad, for quite a little bit of time. They're gonna have to be careful, but I mean, if Mordred can rip an ult right here, knock him up,
right there.
There it is. There it is. Geb forced to ult defensively is not enough. A Whirlpool is gonna pick him up. Kabrakan and Neath holding on, trying to get a bit of value out of it. Don't go too far, because remember, this is not regular Poseidon. This is Aspect. His ADC autos are going to slap. The Kraken's not the only tool.
Maybe that is the thing. It's like, you know, when I'm thinking Poseidon, I'm thinking full ability base, just rip the ultimate because a big ulti damage go bearer, you know? I guess maybe that's the mental state that I'm in. We're starting to see that get used a lot more, and I do really like that whole when it's off cooldown, may put it back on cooldown kind of playstyle, and I think it's working in the favor right now for Pushka Buttons. 5-0 here, approaching the 10-minute mark, and we're seeing almost a 2k gold lead growing in their favor, about 1.5 right now, so I think that's pretty good. I mean, that's 500 gold in the pocket of each player. That's a tier of an item. I think they're sitting in a nice prime position. It's just we got to keep forcing these fights outside of the tower. We got to look towards this objective, knock down the Lost Knight maybe, and, you know, push through the tower at that. Deb gets taken into the air, Kraken for the follow-up, and I was going to say down goes the Geb, but look at him go! He ends up getting caught at the end. LegacyUnknown with the pickup.
I mean, this is absolutely devastating. This Geb is 0-5 right now. Has not even been able to finish stacking his Gauntlet of Thieves. It's not going well for him. He's getting picked out. Speaking of picked out, there goes the Kabrakan. Neath is the next on the menu. They might be trying to bite off more than they can chew, but that tower is going down as Geb comes back in with an ultimate. Unfortunately, not quite enough to kill the Mordred. Where is his health bar? And Psycho goes down again. 0-6.
Where's his health bar? Look what he just fought. A level 11 Poseidon, a level 11 Mordred, a level 10 Achilles. He's level 8 right now on this game. He's just not having a chance to play this game. He's got 37 stacks on his Gauntlet of Thebes. You know, these guys are getting a whole additional item ahead of them real soon, real quick. I mean, that's 3,000 gold now in favor of the Pushka Buttons.
This, I mean, what we're seeing is just, it's a reverse of what happened in game 1. You know, the Pushka Buttons not 20 minutes ago were on the flip side of this. And now they said, you know, hold on, I'm sitting up, I'm getting my gaming chair, and we're running this for real. And now it's Empanadas that are on the defense. Not much they can do. Mordred all just running them down. Early Aegis expecting the Kraken, who's gonna be glad he held that. You know, they're looking for more farm, but I wouldn't be surprised if a Lost Night Call is what's happening next.
See, that's the thing that you end up doing. Kabrakan getting low is going to, it doesn't have Aegis available to him, and they are going to walk away with that one. Good damage in the pocket. But here's the benefit where I can tailor this back to the Rip Kraken on cooldown, Rip Thoth ult on cooldown, Raw ult on cooldown, okay? The more they think you're a maniac who's just going to send it at any time, the more they're going to panic press their relic, because if you just save it for the opportune moment, they know they only have to use their Aegis at the opportune moment. If they think you're a mad lad who's just going to fire that sucker, I got CC'd, I got to Aegis this, you know, like they freak out like crazy. Now getting trapped in, speaking of freaking out, the Kabrakan doing his best to get it, a 1-for-1 trade as Pushka drops Honey, but ends up getting fragged out as well.
Neath does manage to get out. 1-for-1 trade. I would say as long as it stays the way it is, empanadas are happy. They love what just happened.
A massive
Huge
shutdown.
shutdown against Pushka. They got them off the Lost Night. Nothing but benefit for the empanadas there. I think they needed to drop the Lost Night a little sooner there.
Mm-hmm.
You saw them come in, drop it, turn to fight. Don't try to take it in the face of the Kabrakan. Only to lose your life for it.
I think you made a really good point. I was going to ask you, I was like, you know, where did that go wrong? You said it very clearly. It's just use this objective as a bait. I know you have good shred. I know you have good secure, but where are you winning this game? It's in these fights you're doing so well with. Look at that. That guy just jumped in right into the middle of all of you, has his Aegis available, but is he going to get punished is going to be the big question. Is not going to be able to roll on out. Is going to get ran down and get stunned in place. There's the Aegis. Finish him off. Does he make it out? Yes, he does. Back up by the Phoenix line, though. Look at this aggression. Pushka trapped on in. Send it on him. I don't care. Let him know you're a mad lad. There's the Aegis. Forces the ultimate from the Achilles.
Those auto attacks from the Poseidon are absolutely chunking right now. That was crazy amount of shred they had against the tanks, against the Neath. Unless Pushka gets focused out, I don't see the empanadas winning this fight. And trying to even get to Pushka is going to be costly.
How do we get to Pushka? It doesn't need to be like a Neath sitting charging ult and it's just Cab or Geb going on them and hope for the best. Hope we have enough damage. Hope he's separated enough that the Neath ult actually connects onto him while he's getting dove by these other two. It's like, how do we get past this front line or Pushka buttons? It seems to be the real struggle of the zoning that's coming in from LegacyUnknown and Abyssal. It's like, how do we get past this?
There's no easy answer because, I mean, Neath can't even just sit there and charge the ult because Mordred ult is just gonna come in, send her up into the air, and we've got another Lost Night. The question is, do they commit? Are they going to learn? Empanadas are clearly aware of what they're trying to do. Kabrakan's already here. Geb's going along the side. The Lost Night dropped right away this time. But Pushka, ooh.
Spread out. The target is Pushka. The jump on in. Great peel from the Mordred. No Aegis is available for these two tanks. The tidal wave sends him on away. Goes for the execute, but unfortunately he's out of range. That is going to force the members from both sides to back. I'm going to say as soon as Pushka's like, no, wait, you can tank this. I can sit there and just deal the damage. We'll be fine. We'll get the Lost Night. They're not able to step up. They have to reset.
Oh, Mordred more than enough to keep them peeled. Taking a little bit too much damage. Not quite able to get past though. Lost Night is going down. First one at 10 minutes going to Pushka buttons. That is going to disable their Phoenix. Now quickly get out. Gavin Kabrakina waiting around the corner, hoping to greed, but disciplined as they are, they take the reset and now they are looking for that Phoenix. They want the blood.
What's funny is like, you know, that's something that really only we as the spectators can appreciate, but also the team that is the Empanadas to be able to, even when you just see someone standing there watching like, oh, I can't do anything here, he's just backing right there, you know, be this like old Smite 1 where there isn't a bush there to hide the Geb standing there staring at him, you know, instead it be a window like we see on the Joust map over in Smite 1. And that's where I find funny, but you know, less funny, more action. Ultimate after ultimate onto the Geb ain't gonna amount to a whole lot other than getting an Aegis. It is gonna lose the life of Pushka. 1 HP. Neath ends up getting the backflip on out, but does fall to the Mordred. Abyssal able to get that pickup. And now it's a tank slap fight. Who comes out on top of this? Do you think it's the guy with the execute?
I do think it is the guy with the execute, but we already... he still has it up, and Kabrakan is low. But even if it's not coming out on top, they don't need to win this fight. They just need to keep the minions on the Phoenix because it's down.
Keep
Prevent the
minions
wave
on
from being
Phoenix.
cleared. Prevent the wave from being cleared. Let the minions take out the Phoenix. Oh, look out. There it is.
Beautiful.
Solo.
Just like that. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Easy solo kill. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? You know, who said tanks can't split push? They got plenty of damage with a 1.5 minion wave behind them. But maybe a bit more off they can chew. The Achilles not in a good spot. Barely able
Don't
to
say
keep
he's not in a good
alive.
spot. Don't you dare say that man's not in a good spot. Look at him go. Of course he's gonna get out 1 HP. That's what's been happening all game with these players.
You know what? You've got a point. You've got a point. If I think someone is gonna die, I know they're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, and if you think they're gonna be just fine, they die. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we refer to as the caster's curse, where we like to decide the fates of the players. Inadvertently.
Oh man, that's why we can't pick favorites.
This guy's on fire. He's got a 13 kill. Oh, he just died.
Oh damn, 7 times in a row without oh
Oh man,
no.
yeah, he never gets a kill again for the rest of the game.
Oh
You see how that
man.
works.
Every time. Every time. Now with no Phoenix though, Empanadas one wrong move, a wrong fight taken too early, it's gonna cost them the game. Pushka Buttons have everything they need to try to get the siege except for that pick. Empanadas are aware from it. Good damage going off on the tanks. Achilles just shrugging it all off though. Like, thanks for the knee ult.
Yeah. They're like, all right, well, that's out of the way. I think we're chilling. We can make our way with the Lost Knight, get that nice little Lost Knight buff around our belts, and then go up for one final push to put this one away and take us to game 3. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Pushka Buttons is looking to send us to game number 3 in the grand finals. They want to go all the way. Let's see them make it happen. Lost Knight for Pushka Buttons. They're ready to walk this one down.
I don't think Empanadas are going to make this easy for them. They are hanging on. They are ready to fight until the bitter end. They want those 1,000 gems. They know if they can hold on, find an opening, they can end this tournament right here and right now. But they got to survive the siege first.
Gotta survive the siege first. Fire wave starting to move into the Titan room. Here comes the rollout and the Kraken both onto the Poseidon. They know who their target is. They force the beads and the Kraken, but down goes Pushka. And all for what? I mean, they didn't even use a single ultimate over on the side of the Empanadas. They're in prime position. There's the Cataclysm, though, to sway them on off. This is a great defense from the Empanadas, finding himself in prime position for a chase down. They have the Neathult available. The Phoenix is back up. The Titan is chilling. They're going to be moving forward, and they're ready to move themselves on the hunt instead. What a defense.
Just like that. See, things can still turn. They are not ready to roll over. They know what they have to do to kill Pushka on that Poseidon. They cannot let him free cast, and they are doing a great job of that now. If Pushka can stay alive, they win the game there. Every day. Right? If it was Abysmal or Legacy that got picked, I think Pushka's damage wins them, wipes the fight. But Empanadas are aware of that. They know who's killable. They know they don't need a deicide. They just need to survive. And I mean, hell, they did a perfect job at that. That was exactly what they needed to do. And now they are in a prime position. Like, the gold lead is now only 4K difference. They're catching back up. The longer this game... Yeah, the longer this game drags out, the worse this is going to be for Pushka Buttons. As Pushka falls once again to the Geb and Kabrakin just running him down. It feels like there's nothing he can do.
I gotta ask, is it like the worst this is gonna be for Pushka Buttons, or is this just the worst this is going to be for Pushka himself? This guy's 5-4 now, okay? Like, he has all of the deaths that the Empanadas have kills. They realize exactly what they need to do, and we talked a little bit earlier. It's like, oh man, what do the Empanadas need to do to get onto this Poseidon? They figured exactly what it is. I don't give a single find a word that's appropriate to say on stream. I don't give a single care. There we go. About what we need to do. We're gonna walk right past these tanks, walk right past the Mordred, walk right past the Achilles. Our target is Poseidon, because like you said, if Pushka is alive, if he's allowed to free cast, that damage rips on through, and it's a completely different team fight. But since they're doing such a phenomenal job of removing him, they don't have the peel available, and likewise on the opposite end, we're not able to get on to this Neath as well as we had hoped. The Pushka buttons are doing their best right now. Are they going to be able to do it? Look at her. She backflips away. She's gone. She's out of there. She's perfectly fine. And now, look who's the target. It's Pushka once more, although a little bit separated on this fight.
And that is almost going to cost Cabrek his life. Achilles all goes out. Aegis, nice and perfect timing on that. Phoenix half health, looking a little scuffed. Neath and Geb still low, but so are Pushka buttons. Looks like they'd rather try to burn the Lost Knight than risk the Phoenix siege without it. But here comes Cabrek. Can they keep on? Can they kill him before the rest of the team shows up? Geb coming in, able to get some body blocks off, looking for Pushka. There's no way. There's no way, right? Shell goes out. Pushka hanging on a thread. Empen's here now. Pushka is down. Geb, Cabrek both hang on a thread. Legacy, no, all is going to fall to the Neath. Is this the deicide? Bissell is the only one left that does not take the portal, but Geb does.
Geb takes the portal, trying to preemptively get him, I guess, and catch him out. That's what I say with the portal shenanigans. And look at that, now the Geb's making his way on back, catching onto him, not letting him get on out of there. I think you were right on the deicide call. That's gonna be the deicide right there. 25 seconds left on Pushka. I gotta be entirely honest right now, Empanadas. Go and take your tower, take your Phoenix. Who needs this Lost Knight right now? If you can knock down the bird, you can crack the base, you can get fire minions pouring on down, you will be one team fight away from 1,000 gems in pocket each.
They'll be happy with the win they got. I mean, come on, tanks. Come on, you got this. Come on. There we go. And he almost too preemptively letting the tanks go to wail on the Lost Knight. Now the tower's down, and Geb is, he's going for it. He wants that tower.
I do see that as that situation, kind of like I was mentioning. Could you have gotten the tower in the Phoenix there instead of just what you saw? Unfortunate, not able to find the Geb with the execute. He is going to be able to get himself on out of there, and that is going to cost the beads of Pushka once more becoming the dive target and just the prime focus of the Empanadas. LegacyUnknown, though, is going to be able to fall. This is just collapse right now from the Empanadas.
This is a full reversal. They have made a massive comeback. I mean, it was just like, it was what, 9-1? Now it's 11-8. The Empanadas have been playing this from behind perfectly. They know what they need to do. They've figured out what was happening. And I mean, it was Pushka. Big surprise. It was Pushka that was happening, and no longer. And keep in mind a bit about what happened with going for the Phoenixes. It is ability Neath, so their objective shard for Towers of Phoenixes isn't as high as it could be, and without wave, they were just making the safe call to get the Lost Knight.
Safe call to get the Lost Knight indeed. And I mean, I think they were really finding themselves in a prime position, and I guess you can definitely agree. The curse is very real. Return the slab. I think we're offline.
Hey there, thanks for watching DCL, the Divine Combat League. In case you're wondering what this is, Divine Combat League is a competitive outlet ran by the official Smite Discord server. These tournaments and events are made for members of the Discord, where players of all skill levels can give it their best, with hopes to win it all and take some diamonds for their well-earned efforts. Our goal is to provide a competitive outlet for the casual player. If you're looking to join in on the fun, you can join us at discord.gg/smitegame or scan the QR code on screen. These games are also broadcasted on the DCL Twitch channel by our in-house production team. We've got both experienced casters that are longtime members of Smite and some newer names that are looking to emerge onto the scene. If you're looking to join the team, fill out a ticket in the server and let us know. Our staff will be more than happy to help. Thank you all for watching and supporting Divine Combat League.